Bagfuel, baby.
And y'all really on some, nah, they gotta have bars. I'm like, why?
Right.
Yeah. No, they don't got bars. In a space where niggas let shit go, it's like, whatever. What's up, S?
What made y'all even think to start that in the climate when bars didn't matter?
That's a great question.
I think, so it's funny, we started back in 2017. And at that time, if you remember, you know, it was the prominent shows. You had Flex, you had Sway, the LA Leakers, shout out to the bro Cosmic Kev and Bootleg Kev. Those are the five, like, everyone knew about those platforms. But at that time, like he said, it was like weird what was happening in the industry. Bars wasn't really like it. You know what I'm saying? People, a lot of all that new sound was happening in New York. Detroit was doing their thing. And it wasn't really about that anymore, you know? And at that time, if you remember, again, at that time, people went on those platforms and sometimes it elevated your career. If you went on Flex, your freestyle helped give you some sort of momentum in your career.
That's real fast.
And it started dwindling down because the landscape started changing. So those platforms started like walking away from that a little bit. And we noticed that we started paying attention to the climate at that time. A lot of the platforms was like walking away from it because there's so much noise happening in the industry. So we noticed that we started doing it locally, and we realized it was important locally because it caught steam. But we also peeped that there was something happening in the industry. And as these episodes, we was putting the local episodes on, it started catching steam from industry niggas watching it. We was like, wait a minute. This is just not a local underground rappers that need this. The industry actually need this. This is something the industry actually needs. And the moment we peeped it, and again, all of these newer platforms that's created after like 2021, you've seen a bunch of platforms like ours that's doing and giving underground rappers a chance, and you started seeing more of it. Before, it wasn't, like, if you go back from this interview, just go back and check from like 2017 to like 2020, those 3 year span, if it wasn't Flex, LA Leakers, and them, like when we began doing, it was no other freestyle platform that was like underground rapper. It was just those four prominent guys that was doing, and everybody couldn't get on those platforms. So we created it around the time we knew the industry needed it because we saw what was happening, and you know it caught some momentum.
I think because I'm into nuance. Part of the reason y'all joint worked is y'all used a different looking microphone.
Right.
You know, you didn't use the SM7B. Boom, and then y'all production sounded clear. There was warmth to it. So a lot of times when you hear niggas freestyle, it just sounds really hollow-y, and then the camera work. So now it looks good and it sounds good. Y'all using the right beats, and then they're executing. So it's the perfect storm. And then you in there, dressing fly, y'all looking clean cut. That's what we'll say. That's all part of the marketing, man.
Right. Yeah, no, we pride ourselves on paying attention to the details, the particulars. Right. You know, even down to sometimes we'll shoot an episode and he'll be like, nah, this too clean. Like, it need a little bit more gritty. You know what I mean? Like, so we curate it exactly how it's supposed to look. And because we do it everywhere, now we got to curate that everywhere we go. Different cities, different vibes.
Yeah, nah, I seen when y'all crew pulled out the Scarlet. I was like, oh shit, these niggas is hell.
Where y'all get the name from?
Bars i-95, I had a recording studio. So before all this, I was doing local rapper artist management. And it started costing me too much to take my rapper, bring him to the studio, pay him for the studio. So I just opened up my own studio, my crib. And I changed my garage into a recording studio. And that recording studio was called Studio I-95. And my cousin actually helped me come up with that name. But the show, once we started once I started putting the vision together, I called my bro here and we started putting the idea together. I reached out to like I had networks, my family members, you know, my homie PG. He actually was the one, yo, just call that shit, you know, because I was trying to come up with a name for it. He's like, yo, call that shit Bars on, since the studio's already called Studio I-95, call that shit Bars I-95. And the original idea was Studio I-95, we're on the I-95. you got to go through us to get to Boston, Maine, and all
the
of
way
that.
down to
All the
Florida.
way down to Florida, you coming back. So you got to go through Connecticut to go there, and then you got to go through Connecticut to come back, and then you also got to be on the I-95. So he's like, yo, so much talent on I-95.
Let's just focus on that.
Let's just focus on it,
Just
because
so-
everybody else is already doing everything else. Yo, we got so much content that we need to create from just this highway. Let's just run with it. And, you know, it made sense when we, you know.
I think too, when we did it, we wasn't even really thinking as global. You know what I mean? We wanted to touch those people on that side. So it kind of shocked us, you know, as we got into it, that now, you know, you got the West Coast, and people like to tell us what's familiar, like they I-95. Like, oh yeah, we got this highway down there, you know what I mean?
You got
So,
I-10,
Right. And then the
It
rappers, it gets funny because the rappers, they start throwing out the wordplay. You know,
used to have bricks.
Yeah, I used to have bricks on the I-95. I know Bleak came on the show. He's like, yeah, you know, we moved a lot of things on the I-95. So it's all the jokes and things came about. But again, there's a lot of history on the I-95, which is why it kind of brought it home.
Nah,
for us.
listen, the amount of guns and drugs that's been maneuvered on that alone is
Connecticut especially.
They say
bro,
Cam was
lie
in
to you,
Connecticut.
bro. Yeah, West Haven. He had a crib in West Haven, they said.
Nah, like Dipset always said Connecticut was really good to them. You know what I'm saying? Like they said that was one of their biggest foundations, money-wise, popularity.
Connecticut good to artists.
Yeah, it's funny
yeah.
because again, part of the reason why we created, you know, Bars 95 is that, you know, rappers used to come, they still do, they come in Connecticut, collect their bag and go. You know, they don't stop, they don't, you know, not saying they don't show love, but they just don't stop nowhere.
In and out.
They go in and out, they do their show.
Close too early.
Yeah, I get it.
Son, don't do that.
No, I get it.
Niggas would not be going home. Shit closed. There's no other place to go.
I get it.
The hotel, like, you don't want nigga, if you stay in a hotel, every nigga in Connecticut gonna know where you
at?
staying.
They gonna know.
There's a lot of
Come on,
guns.
C's.
There's a lot of guns up there.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's only an hour and 15, 30 minutes wait. Nah, nigga, we gonna get this and we gonna go home.
Zoom right
nigga.
there.
I get it. So we peeped all of that. We peeped that niggas is coming in town, shit's closed early, all of that. We peeped all of that. We like, yo, I know a couple of niggas. You know a few niggas. There shouldn't be no reason why niggas shouldn't come to Connecticut. Before, they used to go to a radio station, but that died out.
Yeah.
We need something here for people that they're gonna go to their show.
Stop shop.
But they're gonna come and check us, chop it up with us, do a freestyle, whatever, and then go to either to their show or
There you
leave
go.
town.
So they make it stop.
So they make it starts with that.
Make it